Hey YouTube, it's Faye, and for today's video, I'm going to install the suspension that I got for Brandon for Christmas on his Mark III Supra. I got these gorgeous Koni yellows, and we're going to pair them with these H&R Sport springs. And as you can kind of already see, it's going to give a really nice stance to his car. So this is going to be part one. I'm going to install the fronts, show you a little quick DIY tutorial and a new tool that I got. And then in part two, I'm going to do the rears. So let's get into it. While the car is still on the ground, I will begin by removing the 3 nuts on these front shock absorber covers. Then using a flathead screwdriver, I will separate this ancient, hardened, gooey gasket. Then I'll remove the 3 actual strut top nuts that are hidden underneath the covers. And lastly, these 2 bolts that secure the Thames actuators onto the top of the strut. And I'll just lift that all up and set it aside for now, and repeat that all on the other side. Now it's time to get the car up in the air to a nice, comfortable working height. We're gonna loosen them by hand first before we lift it up in the air, and then make our power tools do all the work, especially with wheel lock keys. We don't want to be putting a ton of torque on these, but obviously we don't want to lose them all the way now because, the car's still on the ground. And then lift the actual car and remove the wheels. And of course, we might as well put Brandon to work a little bit since he's here for a minute. Ding! The brakes! All right, so here you have a nice initial look at the factory strut with Thames. And look, it's already ready to come out. Amazing. I will begin by removing these sway bar end links to get them out of the way, as well as the lower strut nut and bolt. Now for the end links, you really only need to detach the lower nut to do this job, since that's the one that's going to get in the way of removing the strut. But in my case, you can see that I already installed a new one on the passenger side, and I still need to replace this one on the driver's side. So I'm just gonna completely remove it now. And yes, the steering rack has already been detached because it is complete garbage, and I have a replacement that's gonna go in as well. So you can see that both of the outer tie rods are already separated from the knuckles. So I'm gonna remove this 10mm bolt right here, this little speed sensor wire, because I am going to remove this upper control arm. The last thing we have to do to get the strut assembly out is remove the upper control arm. This bolt is super long, and the washer is going to get jammed into the side of the body if you try to remove the bolt with the washer like at the very end of the bolt. So just keep the washer close to the control arm and then tap the bolt out. I like to put a pry bar on the bolt head and then hammer it loose. Oh my lord! That is the longest bolt I've ever experienced. Here it goes! All right, now that we have the front struts removed, I actually have to disassemble them because I need to swap over the perches from the old shock body to the new ones. So I'm going to use my literal least favorite tool on the face of the planet to compress the spring. Just enough to take the pressure off of the strut top so I can remove it safely without it springing across the shop at 100 miles an hour. That's right, I freaking hate this tool. So why the heck am I using it, you might ask? Well, honestly, just to compare and contrast this style of spring compressor, which I'm assuming most of you are going to be using to do this job, because you can rent this from almost any auto parts store out there for free, by the way, and compare and contrast it to what, you may ask? Well, this new one that I just got, which I'm going to show you in a second. Now, on this, the reason I took this apart is because I've got to rob a couple parts off of this. Well, I only have to rob this piece, but I've got to press this piece off to get this piece off. Yeah, I broke off the top and lost it in the salvage yard, so we're just, no sense in wasting it though. Check this out. This shock is so bad, or this strut insert is so bad, that I pushed it in order to get it into the press, and it's just hanging out in there. It's not at all trying to come back out. So this thing is destroyed. So cool. But I still have to press off that. There we go. I had to move this up one because this didn't extend far enough. So there we go. And all that just for this piece. That's all right though, we need it. Check this out. Okay, very much made in China, but it was less than half of the price of some of the other ones, and looks like it's gonna be a lot safer than the rental ones. So I'm excited to give this a try. I've seen some people purchase it, but I've never seen anyone actually use it or give any reviews online. So we're gonna Try to do that today. All right, that looks like something. Okay, well now I gotta give it a shot. Well, these weren't supposed to show up for another couple of days, but I am in luck. Actually, this wasn't supposed to show up until Wednesday. I did not pay for shipping because these weren't supposed to show up until Wednesday. And it is Monday, and they're both here. So, sick. I'm gonna try one of these and just see what happens. So I cleaned this piece. Looks pretty nice, huh? And I also harvested this piece off of our old shock and cleaned it as well. I just went in there with some soapy water and then some 303 protectant to make it nice and shiny and also protect the rubber. And check out this new tool. I decided that I did not want to reassemble this thing the same way that I disassembled. It was pretty cheap, so I was afraid that it was gonna be kind of crappy. But so far, so good. I only have one complaint about this style spring compressor so far when compared to the other like little clampy ones. And that is that I'm grabbing it on the actual body right here. And I can see it's already started to like mar the paint a little bit. And on the Koni yellows, like they're so pretty. I kind of want them to stay nice and yellow. So that's a bummer. But I mean, this is also a heck of a lot safer and sturdier, and I just feel a little bit more confident using it so far. Usually I see these things go for like $1,000 for like the cheapest one. I found this one for $400, and I don't know, overall it's pretty great. So yeah, I just got it. We'll see how it lasts doing all of these, and then maybe, you know, put it through the ringer a little bit more before I give an actual review on it. I'll link the part number, I'll link it and all that stuff. Beautiful. Now our new Strut top. We just got these. They are nothing special, they are just black. But first of all, look at this crappy paint job. Like, it's just not equal all the way across. And then also, it doesn't come with a new bushing. Like, hello. If this is bad and worn, don't you think that rubber bushing is shot? And thankfully in my case, it's not, so I'll just harvest it off the other piece. I mean, look at that though, it's not great, it's fine. But this should have come with a new bushing. So KYB, you suck, sorry. So there we go, I cleaned it up and it looks fine. And the rubber's still like, it's still malleable, still soft and squishy, but still, it's fine, but it's not great. Like, hey, all right, anyway. We're gonna align the rubber with the spring. There's a flat spot that needs to get lined up with the flat spot right there. Perfect. There it is, just get it. So this is the front, or facing like the outside of the car, because we've got that tab facing forward, and here's the bolt hole. It's the way that it sits in the car, facing forward. Okay, I've got my, where's the H&R springs facing out, and now I'm just gonna like align this as well. So that little piece of the coil is aligned with my little rubber pad, but I'm also just going to align one of these bolts has to be in the front as well in order to line up in the car. Now, instead of actually just putting these on the coil springs themselves, which I could do, but it's like a little bit, I don't know, they're a little close up here. I'm just gonna push down on this ugly strut top. Push down on this enough that I can tighten that bolt. I mean, there's no more gap in there, so all right. Done deal. Torque spec, torqued to spec. That was a lot easier using this tool, man. Wow, I mean, it already saved me time. The one thing I don't like, maybe I'll have to get some Koni yellow paint here. But yeah, definitely left a little scuff. Yeah, see that? Just like little scuff. Not a huge fan of that, but overall though, the rest is great. All right, let's get this thing up in there. Woo. I'll line up those top ones first, then line up the bottom, and then still have my little pneumatic jack attached. So I'm gonna bring up the lower control arm to the bolt hole with my pneumatic jack. I love this thing! Going up! Now, we're not gonna tighten this all the way. We're not gonna torque this to spec until the vehicle is actually fully loaded, because we don't wanna tear or destroy that bushing at all, or put premature wear on it. Okay. And since I had to disconnect this anyway, because this nut actually was getting in the way of the shot coming out, I took this opportunity to finish replacing it. I replaced the other one and meant to replace this one a while ago, but I kind of didn't. I got lazy. Not lazy, I just had other things to do. This also we torque when the weight is fully on the vehicle. I'll tighten it to, like, you know, close enough. Speed sensor. 10 millimeter for this little guy. Going to release pressure on my pneumatic jack and get it out of the way. All right, I'm just gonna get this a little bit closer to tight before I put the wheel on, just so all I'm doing underneath there is just doing that final torque. Okay, that's tight enough. I'm also gonna be replacing the steering rack, so I didn't really want to put this. I'll put the steering rack back on for now, so I'm gonna reinstall this little castle nut, but I am gonna take this whole rack out. I've got another one that is good. This one is leaking, and the inner tie rods are completely gone. I did already install these nuts up on top of here just to hold this strut into place, but now I'm gonna actually tighten it down. Good, enough. All right, I'm so excited to get the wheel on and see what it looks like. Now I will torque these on the ground, but we're just gonna give them a little, woo. There's one side. See, you can see that inner tie rod is gone, but that's not really a concern in this video. Okay, let's get the car back down. Okay, well, I made a boo-boo. I used these. The car was so high off the ground, oh my God, that I used these. I should have used those adapters because right now, jack is all the way down and they won't come out because the car is gonna be so low. All right, well, good thing I have the pneumatic jack, hold on. All right, I just did one side. And it's gonna be even lower once there's an engine in there. I don't know, I think it's a good height, but we'll see what Brandon thinks. Dang, I think it looks good. Now we're gonna torque some suspension components because we're good technicians. That's right, giving you the stink eye people. So first we're gonna do these upper strut nuts and we're gonna torque those to 26 foot-pounds. Now that the vehicle is actually sitting on the ground, or at least like the suspension is weighted, we can torque the suspension bolts. But first, we are going to bounce the vehicle up and down. Now, if you are not of substantial weight, I recommend that you phone a friend for this step. Dang, we got a sneak preview as to like how stiff that suspension is gonna be. So definitely gonna protect Brandon's body kit when he hits bumps and stuff in the road. It's not gonna like slam into the ground or anything like that. So now I'm going to torque that lower suspension mounting bolt to 121 foot-pounds. 121 foot-pounds. Now I'm also gonna reach up in here and torque these upper control arm bolts and nut. Although I have no idea how I'm gonna get a camera up in there, so you're just gonna have to trust me. And we are going to torque the upper control arm nut to 121 foot-pounds. Once again, with the wheels on and with the weight of the vehicle on the suspension. And last but not least, we will torque the wheels. Ah! It looks so good! It's gonna be so low. Because keep in mind, there's not an engine in here yet, so I cannot wait to see what it looks like once we get a little more weight in the front and when it settles and it becomes its, you know, final form. I also cannot wait for there to be an engine in it so I can actually experience the feel of the suspension. Obviously, it's gonna be a major upgrade from the factory 1988 suspension, the Thames and all that. I mean, it's kind of cool, like ahead of its time for sure, but I mean, 1988, it's getting up there in age. Also, I want to feel this because I might want to put the same suspension on my Supra because I have always hated my suspension. I hate my coilovers. The ride is absolutely dreadful, and I've been looking for an alternative that looks good and feels good, so I'm gonna test this out, and I might be buying another set of both of these. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video, which I don't know what I'm gonna put out next, but eventually I will also put out the video for installation of the rears. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
You are so cute. It's a little far, Monica.